The Curse of Inkman's Addons. Inkman had always been passionate about creating add-ons for Gary's mod. His first major success was his FNAF 2 Withered Bonyface prop, which drew the attention of a YouTuber named Xman723. After Xman723 reviewed Inkman's work on his channel, the add-on exploded in popularity. Viewers flooded to the workshop, drawn in by the glowing endorsement of their favorite YouTuber. Over time, Inkman's creations grew more elaborate. He didn't just make props anymore. He began creating ragdolls, then player models, pushing the boundaries of what he could do. As each new add-on was released, Xman723 was there, reviewing every single one, encouraging his viewers to check out Inkman's growing catalog. But somewhere along the way, the reviews stopped. Xman723 stopped acknowledging Inkman's work. No explanations, no messages. Inkman couldn't understand why. The silence that followed was deafening, but what was even worse was the growing isolation from his friends. His three closest friends, who had once supported him, had grown more distant with each passing day, their responses short and few. One by one, they faded away, until only Ofek remained. Inkman met Ofek after releasing his first Fortnite with FNAF add-on. The two clicked instantly, bonding over their shared love of blending different worlds together. They worked on Fortnite with FNAF Chapter 2 together, and soon they were creating entire universes of their own. Addons became a way to escape reality for both of them. Yet despite Ofek's companionship, something felt off. Ofek had started to pull away too. He didn't speak much anymore, and Inkman felt the loneliness settling deeper into his chest. One night, Inkman found himself working on his most ambitious project yet. This wasn't just another add-on. It was something he had been building in the back of his mind for weeks, ever since the silence began to smother him. He called it the Shadow, a twisted figure that would leave an indelible mark on the Gary's mod world. It was dark, alive in ways his other creations hadn't been. The eyes gleamed with an unnatural light, and the textures seemed to warp as if they were part of a nightmare. Inkman couldn't stop himself. He had to finish it. He finished the add-on late into the night, the storm outside howling like a warning. As soon as he hit upload, his screen flickered, and the lights in his room flickered with it. He waited, hoping for the usual stream of praise or maybe a quick review from Xman723, but there was nothing. No review, no acknowledgement, nothing. He called Ofek, but his friend didn't answer. Inkman's chest tightened as he stared at the shadow model on his screen. It felt wrong. It didn't belong in the world he had created. A notification popped up on his phone. It was from Xman723. "I see what you've done, Inkman. You've gone too far. I warned you about pushing the boundaries. Now there's no turning back. The shadow is more than just a model. It's a curse." Inkman laughed nervously, shaking his head. Was Xman723 just playing along, adding drama for his viewers? He didn't believe it, but deep down a nagging doubt gnawed at him. He had heard the stories of cursed add-ons, glitches that weren't just bugs, of creations that became too real. He had always laughed it off before, but now the lights went out. A chill filled the room, and Inkman turned to see something standing in the doorway. A twisted, distorted version of the withered Bonnie model. Its eyes glowed with that unnatural light, and its limbs were impossibly long, twitching with unnatural motion. "You shouldn't have created me," it hissed, its voice a mixture of static and something darker. Inkman froze, heart pounding. This wasn't a model. This wasn't just a creation in his game. It was real, and it was coming closer. Panicked, Inkman grabbed his phone again, desperately trying to call Ofek. Still no response. The figure stepped forward, its cold breath brushing his skin. "You've opened the door, and now you must walk through it." Before Inkman could scream, the figure lunged, its hands gripping his arms with an unnatural strength. It whispered in his ear, "There is no escape." In that moment, Inkman realized the horrible truth. The add-on wasn't just a creation anymore. The shadow was real, and it was hungry. The next morning, Ofek finally responded to Inkman's messages, but there was no reply from Inkman himself. Ofek clicked on the Steam Workshop to check out the shadow, hoping to see if his friend had uploaded something new. But the page was gone. In its place was a new model titled simply Inkman's Last Creation. Ofek opened it with trembling hands. On the screen, Inkman's face stared back at him, twisted and contorted, just like the figure that had attacked him. His eyes were glowing. The message that followed was simple but chilling. Help me, Ofek. It's too late for me, but maybe you can stop it. But Ofek knew it was already too late. The curse had already spread, and soon the shadows would claim more than just Inkman. And from that day forward, every time a new add-on appeared on the Steam Workshop, there was one constant, a dark, haunting figure lurking in the corner of each model. The shadow of a creator lost to his own creations.
And anyone who downloaded the add-ons was never quite the same again.